Hey everyone, welcome to Bugsmashers. I'm your host, Mark Abent. I'm a senior gameplay programmer here at CIG LA, and I'm here to take you behind the scenes on today's hottest bugs. Bugsmashers! Hey everyone, we are here in Crusader, and I have two clients. Client 3, or he's number 2, and then client 1. The reason why it says 2, 3 is because the dedicated server is 1, then 2, and 3. So I have my two clients, and I'm going to have the third guy spawn a debug ship. Normally I would run up to a terminal and spawn a ship, but because I am lazy and I don't feel like running, I am going to spawn a, let's spawn a Gladius. Woo! So I spawn the Gladius, and he'll automatically get teleported into there. Oh, love debug commands. And I have the other client. Let's see. We gotta go find where that ship is. Let's go to light speed. There he is. So we have the guy in the seat. Pretty standard stuff. And what we're now going to do is go back over to the guy in the seat. Yeah, the guy's running around. Run! And we are going to disconnect. Goodbye. Oop, let me remove this breakpoint. Alright, let's disconnect. And of course I will trigger breakpoints everywhere else because of other debugging. But, so as this guy processes his exit, let me explain the bug and why we're here. The bug is basically when you hit 2 people or any number and one guy is in a ship and he leaves, when he comes back on his machine, he's getting up out of the bed, spawning into the normal Crusader area. But on everyone else's machine, including some guy watching it, like this guy right here, he will spawn back into the ship. And unfortunately, everyone thinks he's in the ship, except for the server and that local player. According to both of them, he's running somewhere else around Crusader doing whatever he wanted to do. And now we have a desync between all of what the remote players see and what those two, the server and the local client, sees. And what that also means is you get some weird oddities that allow you to kill the player in the ship when he's not even there. He could be running around and then he dies all of a sudden because, well, it's reporting the wrong spot. So once this guy has fully disconnected, we'll see exactly what's going on. Actually, it takes a little bit to disconnect, so what we can look at is in here in the player code, when he gets deleted or destroyed, before that happens, we have to do a bunch of cleanup. And this particular section of the code is when the player cleans up. And as you can see here, when we clean up, we're telling the vehicle, this is, we call it the seat host because shenanigans. We basically tell the vehicles, we get all of his seats and basically say, hey, evict everybody, and particularly evict this guy because he's getting deleted. And the server is supposed to tell everyone else, hey, this guy's getting removed. So it comes into this bit of code on the server, and it will run exit. But if you notice, it's running this thing called exit init. And exit init is the actual implementation to remove him from the seat. This will play an animation or teleport him to an exit position, whatever it needs to do. It's the implementation that all clients will run. However, it's not the code path that makes the server tell everyone to run it. It's like, hey, this is the stuff that they would be running. So it's responsible for running the exit code, the actual implementation, but not actually dispatching it to letting everybody know that, hey, I should exit. Instead of running exit int or implementation, we should be running exit, come on, seat exit. There, if I could spell, there we go. We should be running exit. Exit will run the implementation. Execute exit will do an animation, then eventually do execute exit. but it will also send the state to all the remote machines. And since the server is not going through this particular path, it's just skipping it and just directly removing him, all the remote machines aren't knowing that this guy shouldn't be in the seat anymore. So he's still processing his exit. And we shall go to reset. So ideally, what we'd want to do in here instead is change this to exit so that it runs the same sequence of events, except it makes sure it dispatches it to all the remote clients. All right, so now this guy's back. So this guy is still looking at the ship with nobody in it. And we're going to reconnect this guy in to see the bug. And as we see the bug, what we want to do to fix it is check if we're the server. Make sure we exit. And we want to skip transitions because we don't want to play an exit animation. And we want to force it. Now the other thing we could have done is instead of in here where we dispatch the event, we have all the clients do it. So that way they could also exit instead of having the server tell them, which is true, except we also want to make sure that the server is authoritative over everything, especially because of persistence. And I mean, when we have the same entity IDs, we need to make sure that everyone's up to date and not just because some guy thinks a certain state should be it. So having the server dictate these things is always a bonus. Now there is code elsewhere that handles removing the player properly when he's in the seat, but it won't correctly reset his entity ID. And that's why we need the server to tell everyone that this is the case. Especially since before we delete the entities, it's up to the server to say which stuff was deleted. So if the server says, hey, remove this guy from the seat, followed by delete him, then we ensure all the clients have the same logic. Let's load the level. All right, so this guy spawned in, he thinks he's in the bed, server thinks he's in the bed, however, that other client thinks he's attached. And he even has broken animations. So from the perspective of the remote clients, this would be everyone, and this guy, they're out of sync. So let's give it a try with our fix and see what happens. Compile, compile, compile. See, this is the part they don't show you all the time. Yeah, we might fix a bug, but it takes a few bit of time to compile everything, restart all the servers, verify the fix, then give it to QA, make sure they verified it, and then hopefully a day or two later it gets in. Or a new bug arises because we just uncovered another thing that this thing was hiding. Game design, art development. All right, we are back in business, so let's fast forward, spawn the Gladius all over, and the other guy, use magical cheats to fast forward. Let's see, where did he spawn? There he is. Whee! All right, so there he is. Now we're going to exit. Bam.
Sorry, I walked off. I didn't know this was happening.
Now we are processing the exit, so the server will tell all the remote clients, hey, this guy has left. As you can see, he left. And the other guy is slowly leaving. And I just realized That true actually enables transitions where we don't want transitions on. All right, and just to be extra safe before committing,
It always has to be available.
we will remove that. And what this will do is allow the local client to perform this as well. However, the server will still dictate the exit so that but the local client will make sure he's in that state, and just to reinforce it, the server will say, hey, flush it. And with those two things, the bug will be good to go. And once this guy, oh no, client 2, disconnects, we'll reconnect them, and we'll see that he's no longer in the seat when he reconnects, and he's in fact in his little cubby hole on all machines. All right, as you guys see, he connected fully, and he's no longer in the ship. So bug's fixed, problem solved.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time's exploit. So, as you guys saw, we had a little bit of a bug on the server where when a guy was leaving a server and he is inside of a seat, the server would remove him from the seat and wouldn't tell anyone else about it. We have everything being server authoritative, so if the server doesn't tell the clients or remote clients that something happened, things get a little bit wonky. And because that server didn't tell everyone else that this guy left the seat, everyone else thought he was still there. And once he rejoined, since we have persistent numbers for what our players are, our entity IDs, everyone else thought he was still in the seat when he reconnected. So all the other remote machines thought he was still in those previous seat. And even though he was like maybe miles away from when he rejoined, and from a perspective, he's still in the vehicle, but he's not. Now the server correctly informs everyone that he has left, and now everyone sees that he has successfully left the seat. So when he reconnects, he won't be in there, and then that can't be used as an exploit. Well, hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in the Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.